Yo, what is good everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the Nhl Dfs slate for Tuesday, November 1st. We got ourselves a massive 12-game slate here tonight, where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And like we always do, we're going to kick things off here in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals. You can see we got 7 of these games coming in with an implied total of 6.5. 4 sitting at 6 goals even, and then just one game there between the Ducks and Sharks coming in at 5.5. And as always, I got the Vegas odds listed behind me there, so you can see who's favored to win tonight. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, being that it is a 12-game slate, there's a lot to love about the forward position, but one line that caught my eye was that first line for the Boston Bruins. We got Bergeron centering Marchand and DeBrusk. Now, technically, they've only played one game together this year in Marchand's return against the Detroit Red Wings, but they did not miss a beat in that game, ended up combining for 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points, and 9 shots on net. Now they're catching a slumping Pittsburgh Penguins team who have lost 4 straight games, giving up 4.5 goals per game during that stretch, with just an abysmal penalty kill, just hitting at a 66.7% rate. Now, I do expect Pittsburgh to play better at home here tonight, but I love the upside with this line still, especially considering all 3 of these guys play up on that number 1 power play. And then another line stack I like here tonight is that newly formed first line for the Calgary Flames. We got Kadri centering Huberdeau and Mangiapane, and a good matchup here tonight at home against the Seattle Kraken, who have started to play better here a little bit over their past few games, but still allowing close to 3.5 goals per game through their first 10 to start the season, and their penalty kill has not been very good either, just hitting at a 66.7% rate, one of the worst in the NHL. Now, you're going to see Kadri and Huberdeau play up on that number 1 power play, Mangiapane plays down on the second. But this is the first game they're playing together 5-on-5, but I love the upside here because you got 2 natural shooters in Kadri and Mangiapane, playing with one of the best playmakers in the NHL in Jonathan Huberdeau. So while we haven't really seen these guys play together this year, at least 5-on-5, I do like the upside, considering the role that each one of these guys plays. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Also, for those of you who are on Discord, if you want to join my channel for that, talking some football and hockey, I got a link in the description below on this video. And for those of you who are on Twitter, you could give me a follow there, posting some content and NHL bets throughout the season. Alright, now diving into these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. Like I said, there's a lot to love about the forward position here tonight. We got guys like McDavid, Crosby, Pastrnak, Draisaitl, Kaprizov on this slate. A number of different routes that we can absolutely go. But one guy that I thought was offering some nice value considering the upside he has, especially in this matchup against the Arizona Coyotes, is Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers. We're going to see him play on the first line. He plays up on that number 1 power play, and while he's only got 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points in 9 games this year, which is good for most players, there's a lot more upside out of Barkov. I love the way he's been shooting the puck here, though, as of late. He has at least 4+ shots on net in 4 straight games, including 5+ shots on net in his last 3. If he keeps shooting the puck at that rate, he's going to get on the score sheet more frequently. Again, especially in a matchup like this against the Arizona Coyotes, who are one of the worst teams in the NHL. I then got Chris Kreider there of the New York Rangers, and I love the way that he's been shooting the puck here as of late, too. 5+ shots on net in 4 straight games. He gets you that 3-point DraftKings bonus every time he gets 5+ shots on net. Now, I'm not suggesting he's going to be able to continue this trend because that is very hard to do, but he also has regression coming his way. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, he's only got 3 goals so far this year, but his expected goals are at 7. That's the second most in the NHL, and let's not forget, this guy plotted 50 last year. He's very capable of finding the back of the net, and multiple times at that in the same game. We're going to see Kreider play up on that first line tonight, play on the number 1 power play, should log around 19+ minutes and a great matchup at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. Next, I got Jesper Bratt of the New Jersey Devils, who is off to a 9-game point streak to start the season, has gotten on the score sheet in every single game so far this year, where he's racked up 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points. I like the way he's shooting the puck, not quite as much as Kreider and Barkov, but averaging around 3 shots on net per game and close to 15 DraftKings points per game, while playing on that second line with Jack Hughes, playing up on that number 1 power play, and a good matchup tonight as well against the Vancouver Canucks, who have played better here in their last 2 games, but if we're looking at the season as a whole, they have technically been one of the worst teams in the NHL this year. Now, one player who's offering tremendous value here tonight, in my opinion, is Timo Meier of the San Jose Sharks, a natural goal scorer who loves to shoot the puck and usually floats in the upper 6K range, low 7K range, so we're getting him at a massive discount. Now, he's only got 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points in 9 games this year, but 5+ shots on net here in 4 straight, including games where he had 6 and 8 shots on net. And he's got a great matchup at home here tonight to where he definitely could score multiple goals or get on the score sheet multiple times against the Anaheim Ducks, who have been one of the worst teams in the league this year, allowing 4.22 goals per game and have one of the league's worst penalty kills that have hit at just a 63.6% rate. We're going to see Meier play up on that first line tonight and the number 1 power play. And then I got Matt Boldy there of the Minnesota Wild, who's sitting at a nice price in the 4K range and a nice home matchup against the Montreal Canadiens. It's early in the season, but we've really seen Matt Boldy already take the next step this year from his rookie season last year. He's now got 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points in his first 9 games, averaging over 3 shots on net per game, and playing close to 19+ minutes per game as well. He's playing on that second line and up on that number 1 power play, and actually leads this entire Minnesota team in expected goals this year, more than both Joel Eriksson Ek and Kirill Kaprizov. So these points that he's racking up in goals, for that matter, aren't coming by mistake. And then I got JT Miller there, who we're getting at a massive discount tonight as well. I understand Vancouver got off to a really slow start this year, but have started to figure some things out here over their last few games. And JT Miller was a guy that racked up 99 points last year and usually floated in the upper 6K range, low 7K range, very similar to Timo Meier of the San Jose Sharks. And we've seen Miller start to figure his game out here as of late too, where he's now racked up 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points in his last 3 games. We're going to see him play up on that first line tonight and the number 1 power play as well. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, and there are quite a few big names, top-tier defensemen on this 12-game slate, as you'd imagine. I would be willing to pay up for Adam Fox of the New York Rangers, or even Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning, but 2 higher-priced defensemen that really caught my eye were Erik Karlsson and Brandon Montour. We're going to start with Karlsson here. I don't want to say he looks like the old Erik Karlsson, because that guy was elite when he played, but this Erik Karlsson, the older version, is still playing very well. 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points now in his first 9 games. I love the way that he's shooting the puck here as of late. He's racked up 18 shots on net in his past 4. Again, in a great matchup at home tonight against the Anaheim Ducks, who have been one of the worst teams in the NHL this year and have an abysmal penalty kill. We're going to see Karlsson play about 23+ minutes here tonight and play up on that number 1 power play. And then Brandon Montour there of the Florida Panthers. I've never seen this guy play this well in the NHL. Again, a small sample size. It's early in the season, but with Aaron Ekblad out, we've seen Montour log major minutes, about 25+ minutes per night, and he's made the most of that. He's now racked up 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points in his first 7 games, averaging around 3 shots on net per game and close to 15.5 DraftKings points per game. Showed some really nice upside last game as well against Ottawa, where he put up 35 DraftKings points. Now, he's got a great matchup here tonight against the Arizona Coyotes, who have allowed 4.38 goals per game this year, the second most in the NHL. And on top of logging big minutes here tonight, we're going to see Montour play up on that number 1 power play too. Now, if you do want to save some money here tonight, there is some decent value out at the defenseman position. First guy I got there is Noah Hanifin. Now, if you look at Hanifin's game log of the Calgary Flames, you're going to go, ooh, has not played very well this year in terms of racking up DraftKings points, and you would absolutely be right. But if you remember towards the end of last year, really from March till about May, Hanifin went on an absolute tear. He's still playing on the number 2 power play, still logging 22 plus minutes per night, gets time on the penalty kill. This is a guy who was averaging 10 plus DraftKings points per game towards the end of last season and floated in the upper 4K range. So even though he hasn't put up major DraftKings points this year, I gotta believe that regression is coming his way, considering he's playing the same role still. And then I got Nick Jensen there of the Washington Capitals, who's been a bit of a surprise this year with 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points in his first 10 games. And this is a guy who doesn't have a solidified role on the power play. He'll sneak on that second power play every now and then, but not a place he's logging major minutes. He is, however, playing about 20 plus minutes per night and does log big minutes on the penalty kill, where he's not afraid to block shots. He now has 2 plus block shots in 4 straight games, including 5 and 3 in his last 2, which have led to 15 plus DraftKings points in 3 of his last 4 games. Likely unsustainable, but considering the price here at $2,900, he has shown some really nice upside. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you tonight. 12-game slate, 24 different goalies to choose from. There are some nice options, to say the least. If Jack Campbell starts tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, I am going to be pissed because Stuart Skinner has been significantly better. And even though he's only played around 4 games this year, he's got a goals allowed average of 1.59, a save percentage of .955, and 6.3 goal save above expected in just 4 games. That's a 5th best in the NHL. There's no reason that Jack Campbell should be considered the starter right now. Skinner has earned that job, but do keep an eye on their status. And then Linus Ullmark here of the Boston Bruins is undefeated through his first 6 games this year, with a goals allowed average of 1.70 and a save percentage of .945, with 5.0 goal save above expected, which is the 10th best in the NHL. So I think Ullmark is a little too cheap here at $7,500, especially as the Bruins catch this slumping Penguins team that have lost 4 straight games. And as always, going to wrap up this spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub 4K forward plays, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not really in love with the 2 to 3K range for forwards tonight. I think there's some really nice value in the 4 to 5K range, but below 4K, not in love with it, but I got 3 guys that did stick out to me. First one here being Anton Lundell of the Florida Panthers. Plays on that 3rd line, but plays up on the number 1 power play, and a great matchup here tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. He's got 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points through 9 games, but does average around 17 plus minutes per night, so no lack of ice time there. Freddie Gaudreau there of the Minnesota Wild, playing up on that first line with Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Zuccarello. Plays on the number 2 power play too. Has found success on that first line. Was bumped up there around 4 games ago, I believe, and has found 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points in his last 4 games. And then William Karlsson there of the Vegas Golden Knights, playing on the second line, playing on that number 2 power play. They basically reunited that second line of him, Marchessault, and Riley Smith, so a lot of chemistry between those 3. Karlsson's got 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points in 10 games this year, and has hit 13 plus DraftKings points in half of those games. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Let's not forget it is Tuesday, so we should have a taco pick coming our way. I know they got one out for the NBA already, but they always neglect us hockey folks. That will be out later on today. Here's the thing. We should get a better discount than that basketball pick, so I'll wait for it. Just like I'm going to wait for the rest of these picks. They don't even have that many out as I record here this morning. 12-game slate, we should have a lot to choose from, so I'm going to go through those thoroughly, and then I'll let you know my final picks in a comment below on this video, and I'll be sure to pin that comment as well. Now, for those of you who have not signed up for Prize Picks yet, but want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely be taking advantage of. When you sign up, use my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, and Prize Picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, again, you don't have to put $100 in. You want to put in 50, they'll match 50. You want to put in 20, they'll match 20. They will match anything up to $100. Again, as long as you're using my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 12-game slate. I'm out of here.